What is going on, fight fans? So let's talk about something important. With all of these things going on with Esports Boxing Club, the fact that it keeps evolving, we have to ask ourselves a very important question. And that question is this game really coming out this year? I'm Edward, and you're watching Boxing Fanatico. All right, before I jump into any of that stuff, I definitely want to give a shout out to Teofimo Lopez for an amazing showing versus Lomachenko. His ability to nullify Lomachenko's pivoting was pretty outstanding, considering that many people weren't able to crack that code. He held his power shot as a looming dark cloud, but he didn't really rely on it. It kept Loma honest to a detrimental extent, as it looked like Loma waited too long to even get going. But he showed that he is not a one-trick pony, which many of the pundits try to say that he is. He does have skills to back up his knockout power. So shout outs to him. He is a 23-year-old who has unified all of the titles other than the WBC title, but he did win the WBC franchise title. But he has unified most all of the titles at that very young age, and no one has ever held 4 belts in that weight division, in the lightweight division before. So this is a very outstanding achievement and should knock him right into the pound for pound list. So I just wanted to give a quick shout out to Teofimo Lopez for his outstanding performance. Keep doing what you're doing, champ. All right, now let's go ahead and talk about something that was recent. So I want to make sure that you guys get all of the information. I didn't think this was video worthy, so I'm just going to throw it into this video. So Eddie Hall, which is one of the world's strongest man who held records in deadlifts, or who holds records in deadlift competition, is in the game. He confirmed that he was being scanned. Steel City responded to that. He also showed the pictures of him in the studio where they take the pictures, in the 1024 studio. So he's in the game, which shows me that they're trying to have a little bit of fun with this roster. Is he officially a pro boxer? Technically, no, but technically, yes. Also, he's as much as a pro boxer as Logan Paul. He's being trained professionally to fight professionally. I think he has a fight with another world's strongest man called Hafthor Bjornsson, and they will be fighting supposedly in 2021 in Las Vegas. So technically, yeah, he is a boxer. And I don't want anybody to look at this and be like, oh, wasted slot. They're trying to pack the game as much as they can with different fighters, and they want to have their fun little, fighters that you can pick. Because Eddie Hall is the strongest man in the world, he might have like this incredible, power, but then all the other attributes are probably going to be low. So, it's one of those fun things like, oh, can you beat Mike Tyson with Eddie Hall? Is it possible on the hardest difficulty, in the ultimate difficulty, in the nightmare difficulty, one of those kind of things. It'll be fun to have him in there, and I'm not mad at them because it's a fun character with a seasonal type boxing game that's going to provide, content over time. I also want to correct something on the record. I definitely used the wrong terminology. I don't want to misconstrue anyone to think that Steel City Interactive is actually purchasing a bunch of people. I use the word acquisition when I really wanted to say partnership. The partnership is important because it's showing how important they are to the boxing landscape. So it'll help bring in more fighters, but they're not acquiring these companies. They're not buying all of these companies. They're partnering with those companies. Those companies are willing to work with Steel City Interactive, and in many instances help finance what they are doing. Now that we got that all out of the way, I definitely wanted to make that correction on my part. I apologize for that. But what we need to talk about is this game actually coming out in 2021? I have no doubts that this game is coming out. Unlike all the other boxing titles that are claiming that they're going to come out like round for round, I have no faith that those boxing games are coming out at all, because there's no type of substantial development. They're not partnering with CompuBox. They're not partnering with the WBC, with Ring Magazine, with a high quality graphics company like 1024, an animations company. They're not doing all of these things, giving us these detailed trailers and breaking things down and interviews and stuff like that. They're not doing any of that stuff. Not to mention just getting all of these fighters to be on the game. They're nowhere close to doing anything like that. So I have no faith that they're coming out. I definitely have faith that this game is coming out 100%, just because of the developments that we've seen. However, I might be losing faith that it is coming out this year. And it's only because so many things are happening. It's evolving tenfold every single time. And maybe they already had the ability to do these things, and now with all of these partnerships, they have enough finance to pull the trigger on those things so that there could be a return on investment. So I'm not sure if that was the case. If they wanted to be here, but because they were an indie studio, they're here, and then like WBC and Ring Magazine, everybody partnered up with them, and now they're up here and they can do the things that they wanted to technically. It might be that that's the case. And if it is, I'm happy with that. So if they already had an engine build, everything, the trajectory was going in that direction, they already had a path, everything set. But if they're just seeing what the power that they have and they want to, use that power to its full extent, and they're working with that, then that's where it becomes kind of like this gray area. If you had a scheduled timeline and you said, hey, it's going to come out, this day, because they had that December date. So December of this year, end of December of this year, they had that date for a while before they got all of these people. So it's possible that that's the date that they, technically want to shoot for, because they said that that's when it's going to come out. But they may not be able to do the things that they want to do with the game and then make it come out at the end of this year. I hope I'm not confusing you. It's just that I'm super happy with the progress, but I'm feeling like this evolution, even for example, the video that we saw when they were at the WBC conference, they're now saying that the mechanics and everything has been even more overhauled and it's even more realistic. So they had a mechanic system. They went from the first mechanic system to the one that we saw at the WBC where it was just shadow boxing, to now there's even a better mechanic system to that one. That makes me feel like, damn, this is evolving a lot. Will it be ready for December 2020? I'm not quite sure. But here's the flip side on that. Do I want it to just release because of my thirst for boxing games? Or do I want it to release polished and at its best possible state? That's the dilemma, which my leaning is towards being a polished game in its best possible state before releasing. And the obvious reasons, because we've waited for 9 years. What's a few more months or even a year of waiting to get the best game possible, to give the game the most chance for success? What's one more year, or whatever they need to do to give us the best game that we can get? I think that that's a great trade-off, because if this is a seasonal game, then the foundation of this game has to be strong. And if it isn't strong, it doesn't matter how many fighters you put in it, the foundation is so weak that the player base will just drop off. So it has to be strong foundationally. And if it takes them delaying the game, then so be it. I know that they're probably scared to even mention delay, because a lot of people don't trust that these boxing games are going to come out because of all of the things that's happened in the past. So many people have said that this will come out and this, and it never does. But I think that Esports Boxing Club is in a unique position where we trust that they are at least actually building a game, that they are in a process of evolving the programming of this game, and that the game is scheduled to release at some point. That I think that they've jumped that hurdle where we trust that the game is going to come out. I don't think that they need to worry so much by delaying the game. And I hope that if they watch this video, they understand that I could only speak for myself. But if my sentiment is what others are feeling, then you guys will be good. Release the best game that you can. Don't just release it because you feel you have to release it December. Now, it is very plausible that they have this structure in place already, and all they're doing is putting icing on top of an already fully baked, fully polished cake. And if that is the case, then beautiful. We will get a game and it'll release at the end of this year and we'll all be able to play it and we'll all have fun with this game. But if that is not the case and they are restructuring many elements and chunks of this game, then it wouldn't even be plausible or feasible for this game to release at the end of this year with all of the new, kind of overhauls that they're doing. So my question, and I'm actually just doing this video as a way for all of us to communicate, for this group to communicate on this topic. Do you guys think that this game will release this year? I'm actually split right down the middle. I think it could be one or the other. It could be that they had this polished system that all they needed was the financing to really put that icing on top of the cake. And I also believe that it is possible that all of this is a little bit overwhelming. The pressure is a little bit more aggressive now that, all of these people are expecting them to succeed. They're probably moving towards building the best possible boxing game imaginable. And for them to do that, they have to add major elements and do major additional programming to complete what their vision of a perfect boxing or a revolutionary boxing game is. But if they announce that they will be delaying the game, and guys, trust me, I have not spoken to them about this or anything like this. This is literally just my pondering or thinking out loud with you guys about the possibility of a delay. I just don't want people to think that if they delay it, that means that they're just probably not going to make the game anyways. I think they're so far along and they have so much on their shoulders in terms of the WBC partnering with them, CompuBox, and all these boxers being scanned and all this time being taken for them to be in the game and be structured and sculpting, and their sculpting of legendary fighters. I think they've done so much that you'll be foolish to think that the game isn't going to come out. It's not like we've gotten a screenshot or one little trailer or one picture or one little blog post or something. No, we've gotten so much from this game. They were at the WBC convention with like an hour plus interview talking about the game, showing different elements of the game and showing different aspects of the game. So at the end of the day, the thing that I care about the most, I hope you guys don't hate me for this, is the best boxing game possible. If we waited 9 years, don't pressure them to rush this game simply because you want to play a new boxing game. Because if it's horrible, you're not going to be playing it for that long. It's going to be a forgettable thing. And then it's going to be like, what happened? Those 9 years were for nothing. The wait was for nothing. Let them take as long as they need. Believe it or not, that's how I feel. Let them take as long as they need. Would I love for the game to come out this year, December 2020? Of course. But what I would love more is for the game to come out as the best boxing game we've ever seen, and where it's very hard to even imagine another company competing with them. That's really the game that I want when it's all said and done. All right, guys, that's all I have for you today. Of course, keep it locked here on Boxing Fanatico. You want to hit that subscribe button and you want to hit that notification bell and hit all notifications. Then YouTube really makes you go through so much just to get notified. But it'll be worth it with Boxing Fanatico because I will keep you informed with all the details and all the new information when it comes to Esports Boxing Club. This is Edward, and I'll see you guys next time.